Okay, it is apparent that all this pipe is leaking and I need to replace it. So I need to cut a hole in this wall. Don't drop my phone. Is there any electrical right there? I don't know. Okay. Let's open up this. My boss wants me to reach in here and try to take all this apart, but that's not happening. So I gotta cut a hole in the wall here. Nothing's easy. I've said it before, I know. And here's where I'm at in these offices. So it's not like a construction. Good thing is these offices are vacant. So that is a good thing. All right, let's cut a hole in the wall. Okay, it is apparent that I've cut my way in here, and you can see, look at how loose these threads are. I mean, all this pipe is super loose. Sorry. So I got to replace all this pipe here. My problem is, oh, there's always a problem. See how that's coming down crooked? Why isn't it coming down straight? I don't even see a hanger on it. So that's got about 180 pounds of pressure on it. So I got to be really careful with this little copper pressure relief valve. I got to rehook all that back up. So hopefully I can just unscrew that compression fitting and replace this. And then replace that, replace that. But that angle is going to be a little hard to get. See, I don't really want to push this around right now because it's got all the pressure. When I work on it, maybe I'll drain it down. Looks like that's leaking a little bit too. No, it's rusted up. That should be a gate valve too, but we'll see. See if I feel like changing it. Probably should. Okay. Because it would be really hard to try to, if the inspector said, hey, that needs to be a gate valve, not a ball valve, and this wall's all sealed up. Problem I have is all this is trapped water. So that's what I'll do. I'll take all this pipe out and run a hose out that hole and hook a hose up to that valve and get as much water as I can out. Of course, it'll pee on me the whole time, but I'm used to getting peed on. You know, people pay good money for that. All right, let's crawl out of here, take some measurements with that measuring tape. Fat Max. All right, quit messing around and measure, go cut some pipe and get out of this hole. Not too straight of a cut, I would say. Okay, it is apparent that I'm back in this hole fixing this inspector's test. And I've undone the pressure relief valve there. And I thought about it. I'm gonna hook up my hose. This has a big pump on it and it has a lot of pressure. I need to change that to a gate valve. You know, as soon as I hook all this up and they patch that hole, it needs to have a gate valve for an inspector's test, not a ball valve. So you have that sixth sense, listen to it. So I'm gonna, all this water's trapped, of course. So I'm gonna hook up my hose adapter. And this is what a hose adapter, let me dig it out. I'm gonna hook up my hose adapter to that. And then I'm gonna run a hose outside, my garden hose. But first I need to take out this broken pipe. You can see where I sawzalled it. Oh no, hacksawed it. That was a hacksaw. I didn't have a saw. I don't know, this whole thing has been a nightmare. So let's take it apart, hook up my hose, and wait for it to drain, and then repipe it. Okay, there's the hole that I'm in, and there's the piece of pipe that I'm got to stick through the wall. I'll reuse that. But yeah, oh, my light's on. You see that? All right, turn off your light, unroll your hose. I'm gonna stick my hose right through there. Let's just do that. You can watch me do that. Set you up right there. So I'll reuse this piece of pipe. XL pipe, or maybe that's galvanized. Yeah, that's galvanized. But that XL pipe, that's thin wall fire sprinkler pipe, and it looks like it's galvanized, and it sucks. Okay. Make sure my rubber's on. You always want to make sure your rubber's on. Oh, and I always do that too. I drop my wire, and I need that wire. And it's camouflage wire. You never see it. Put it on my wire holder. This is my wire holder. All right, there you go. One hose unraveled, and I'll straighten it all out and try not to pull it. I like to water trees. You see that? I'll water this tree right here. How about that? But first I got to get all these kinks out. I don't like this hose. This is a kinky hose. You ever have a kinky hose? All right, let's go hook up this hose. There you go, watering trees. Okay, let's get back in this hole. I'm gonna reuse this pipe. Now there's a code. You can reuse pipe as long as it's from the same job. So I'm gonna take this. I don't want this touching anything. You see that? You don't want black pipe touching carpet. There might be a little water in here. You just don't want a mess. So with fire sprinklers, you always got to have your pipe tilted the right way, and yeah, it's hard not to make a mess, but you don't want to make one. So we're gonna put this right. Can't make a mess there. All right, let's go crawl back in that hole. All right, now we can get back in that hole. Fail. You see, it's always something. Always something. Okay, we got everything? Nope, I need my gloves. Okay. I have a bucket on the other side of this wall. All right, let me grab you. All right. Okay, now we're in. Here's my hose. My rubber's still in. And now I need two hands. Well, maybe not. Look at that. Okay, when you're good, you're good. Okay, so now we got that tight. Now we want to hear water run through here. You ready? Just for Pete's sake, I'm gonna put my channel locks on it. Here we go, listen. Are you listening? What? Oh, there it is. If I crimp this hose, you'll hear it if it's draining. Yeah, not bad. Okay, well, we'll let that drain for a minute and let's get to work. I think I'll let you know when it's all back together. We'll see. Okay, it's always something. I have that valve I was going to put in there, and I was going to save the suction on here because all this water's trapped, and I started to put this valve in, and look at excuse me, the handle is going to hit all this, so I need to get a longer nipple like that, because this up here is going to mess with all this, and I don't want to mess with any of that. Oh, wait a second, can I turn that inspector's test up? But then I'm loosening all that stuff. I don't want to loosen any. I'm going to get a longer nipple so the handle fits right like that. Okay, it is apparent that I got my new valve in, and I think I did right by putting a gate valve instead of a ball valve. And you got to remember to always put that arrow the right way. Can you see that arrow? Yeah, you put that arrow with the flow of the water, or you could have a leak. So now I just need to get a couple measurements. That is pointing straight down, down, over and out, over and out. Well, the bucket is empty and the tools are put away, and there you go. Your brand new inspector's test that is tight. All the pipe in here was loose. Those threads sure do look loose, but they're tight. I tightened everything, so let's turn on this valve. You can see where I had to get a longer nipple there, so I didn't have to mess with any of this copper. You don't want to really mess with that stuff. I didn't want to turn that and loosen any of this. No, I just loosened that and put it all back to where it was, even the same angle and everything. So let's see if we can get a little suction here. Listen. Good, it's all drained out. Okay, now we can just fill it up. Let's close this up all the way except for a little bit and go turn on the water. Yeah, that turned out all right. It's even in the center of the hole. You know, that's what she said. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. We got the inspector's test all repiped. Now we just got to turn on this, let's call that, you see that right there? A post indicator valve. Let me see if I can line you up just right. You see that? PIV. So we're going to turn this on slowly. You know we turn all our water on slowly. Now this has got a diesel pump that I turned off, but there's still 175 pounds on this, so I gotta be careful. So now, you know, as soon as you turn on the water, quiet, it's a freeway right there. As soon as you turn on the water, you run and check your work. You don't look at nothing else. Don't stop to talk. Don't stop to ask about the president. You just get inside. Go by the riser. Look at that thing's already full. That thing filled quick, didn't it? So I need to go shut off this. Oh, this is the way then. Yeah, I left that valve a little open, so we should be bleeding air right now. I like to bleed the air out, so that's what these inspectors test on the end of the sprinkler system are so nice, because you can bleed the air out. So hopefully I'm gonna go outside right now, check your work. That's always the first thing you do. Oh yeah, I hear it. You hear that? It's all dry. Guess we can go check outside. I'll let you see what the water looks like running through it. You might as well see the whole setup, right? Let's go see what the inspector's test repiping looks like. Yeah, everything here was tight. I'm telling you, this building is cursed or haunted. Everything breaks, everything leaks. Oh, I hear it. Let's see that water. Hopefully I'm not making too big of a mess. Oh yeah, look at that. I got my own geyser. Okay, let's go turn it off. That's what it looks like. So when I turn it off, that'll build the pressure all the way up, and that'll tell me if I have any leaks. But we're not thinking that way. We're thinking positive today. Lord, you have blessed us in so many ways just by giving us life. All right, let's go turn off the inspector's test valve. Listen, you can hear that water. Yeah, gate valve. Beautiful. Boy, that was a lot of work for a little bit of work. And all that is dry. I like that. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. That was it. The water's on. I just got to go turn the pump back on, the fire pumps, because there's an electric pump and a diesel pump. There's two pumps here. And make sure the jockey pump runs all the way up first. Make sure the jockey pump turns off before you turn on the other pumps. Okay, so one last look. I left a good little mess here. Oh, I wanted to see, I left this little bracket on the ground. You see how I did that? What is that little bit of water right there? That must just been from when I was working in here, because everything is dry. Better not scare me like that. Dry, dry, dry. No, that's dry. Okay. All the compression fittings are dry. Those are what worry me, those brass compression fittings. Okay, let's look at that later. Call it a day. Oh, don't forget your bucket. Nothing's easy. Not even getting out of bed. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these inspector's test valve breaking off. Here's what happened. You see that handle? I went to go and test the inspector's test valve, and I went to go close it, and it wouldn't close. And I took my wrench and tightened it, and it wouldn't tighten, and just busted off. So, nothing's easy, not even opening an inspector's test valve. And then, to replace the pipe, you gotta cut a big hole in the wall. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these inspector's test piping adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, buddy. You want to go back in there? Aren't you done? Okay, I'll leave you in there. Bye. I'll put you down. Postscript. Who is American Fire Protection? American Automatic Fire Protection. Okay. Postscript. That little wet dot on the ground is dry. So, there you go. Postscript. Over.